WOCA.
WOCA.
All right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I guess one of my favorite things about doing a radio show, talk show specifically, is that we get to interview people. And I know as listeners, you hear us doing this all day, or well, at least all morning. And there's something to interviewing. You're basically asking people to tell you things about themselves. Not always. I mean, well, actually, almost all the time, there's something else they're talking about: a book, a movie, a recording that they've made, something they're working on. Maybe they're campaigning for a public office. But there's always that part of the interview where you say, "Oh, really? Well, so where did you grow up? Or what was your life like, et cetera, et cetera." I don't think we ever get information that because obviously they know they're talking on the radio, that could be damaging to them. So like a secret, I don't think that ever happens. But if you're like a psychologist, in the closed doors of an office, or an attorney, I bet you the stuff they hear is unbelievable, about what goes on in people's lives. Or maybe you're a priest. Oh gosh, can you imagine listening to confessions?
Oh, yeah.
Holy mackerel.
I've seen that.
Those three groups of people, psychologists, priests, and attorneys, they must have a different view of the world than the rest of us based on what they know about the real inner workings of the human psyche. Price Ainsworth is on the phone, and he is the author of a book called A Minor Fall. It is a legal thriller novel, and it is about deep, dark secrets. He is he is named Price. He is a trial lawyer in Austin, Texas. He's been practicing law for more than 30 years, regularly recognized as a super lawyer by Texas Monthly Magazine.
That's cool.
And it's an honor to have him on our show. Good morning, Price.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for waiting through all those commercials. That was like a long break, wasn't it?
No, but I was enjoying the story about the walrus.
Oh, that's my favorite story of the day. That is
I've got a suggestion for a name.
What is it?
If the mom's name is Caboodle, doesn't the pup's name have to be Kit?
That's the same thing. That's what Robin said this morning. You're on the same wavelength as Robin. Oh my gosh.
I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so cool. That is cool.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 votes for Kit. I think you're onto something.
That's right. We're going to have to tell them an attorney recommended.
Just a natural.
So,
that's right.
So has it ever occurred to you that you have something in common with priests and psychologists?
Well, you do get to interview a lot of folks and talk to a lot of folks, whether they're clients or potential jurors, and I would imagine that there are a lot of similarities. People don't want to tell you their deepest, darkest secrets, but
they come out.
But they eventually come out. That's right.
Oh my gosh! And that helps you do your job, or does it hurt you if you're trying to defend them? You say, "Oh, I don't need to know that."
Well, I was thinking more from the standpoint of when you're picking a jury and you're trying to think about, what does this person really think? What kind of juror are they going to be? And you want to ask the right questions to try and delve into those psyches.
Yeah. So, did any of that stimulate the genesis for the idea behind the book, A Minor Fall?
When I got out of law school, I worked for a federal judge over in the Eastern District of Texas, and he would pick juries the first Monday of every month, and we would pick 8 juries at a time. And so I got to see a lot of juries picked, and I also got to see a lot of terrific lawyers, and started a little notebook of interesting things I heard the lawyers say, and those make their way into the book. We kind of one of the chief characters, a fellow named Sullivan, is always giving little Sullivanisms, we're calling them, and
that makes sense.
Those are mainly sentences that I heard lawyers say over the years.
Do you in the book, do you explore how do I ask this question? Do you explore theories that people have, or is it more about the secrets that they hold? That's kind of a weird way of asking that, I guess.
It's most of the book is told through first person. So we watch the characters interact with other people, and I think the reader starts to see that the secrets that the individuals have. probably before the characters see it themselves.
So you see the damage that is caused in a relationship by jealousy and maybe sudden wealth, that kind of thing?
That and just not being able to tell your spouse what's going on in your life. Just a paralysis by indecision and fear of just telling the truth.
Wow.
But then you have the character going through the life change of pregnancy and how that affects everyone.
Right, and the turmoil that ensues when probably one person is ready to, in the marriage, is ready to be a family member, and the other one is not quite mature enough yet. So it's an interesting dynamic. I hope readers enjoy it when they see the problems between the two.
So Davy Jesse is the protagonist. Tell me about Davy Jesse.
Well, on the surface, Davy's a successful young trial lawyer with a beautiful wife and a exciting career, and everything seems to be going Davy's way. Beneath the surface, what's really happening is we're watching the story of David in the Old Testament unfold, or at least my reimagining of that story. Mm-hmm. We have Davy versus a lawyer named Gregory Gath or Goliath. Davy works for a person named Sullivan that kind of plays the Saul role.
Oh, neat.
And then eventually Davy comes into contact with a Bathsheba character named Beth Sheehan. So there are more parallels that we don't need to go into here, but it follows the David story in the Old Testament, and that's the outline of the story.
I gotcha. Okay. Oh, wow. And have you had feedback regarding that? I mean, have you had people picking up on that, or is that straightforward obvious?
It's been interesting, Larry, that about half the people that read the story never see the David line at all, even though there will be little epigraphs at the first of each section that will refer back to the biblical story. And then the other half catch on immediately and say, oh, I see what's going on here. So I hope it doesn't really matter either way. I hope the story's a good story.
Sure.
David's story's been around for a long time, so the original text did pretty well.
Is it your way of exploring that we as humans haven't really changed, that we're kind of always the same?
Exactly. And in fact, it was David who said that, there's nothing new under the sun in one of his Psalms. But it doesn't mean that we can't learn from problems like David or Davy have had.
Yeah. Well, I often wonder about that, too. I often wonder if the learning that we're supposed to be doing as humans, and the phrase "supposed to be" implies that there's a God who put us here for a reason. So I wonder if the learning takes place in the course of a lifetime, not in the course of generations. Like my son might need to learn the same things I learned, and we're all learning them individually, not collectively.
Yeah, I'm not sure this line makes it into the book, but one of the Sullivanisms would be that wisdom is not to be despised because it's late in coming. And I'm afraid we just all have to learn those lessons. Hopefully, we don't all have to go through what Davy goes through, but we can learn from others' mistakes. I
love that. Wisdom is not to be despised because it's late in coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll put that in the sequel.
That is also that is a really awesome thing to say. A lot of people say youth is wasted on the young, that kind of a thing. So, yeah.
That's true.
It seems that there is kind of a conflict there, because law is so delicate. You have to make sure you make the right decisions and everything and stay within the rules. And then you have belief in God. And sometimes one seems to overshadow the other, but you have to have both when you're doing a trial.
You bet. And you can't ignore your conscience. And especially if you're trying a case in front of a jury, because anytime I think a jury sees that you're not doing what is right, they're going to pick up on it. It may not be all the jurors, but it'll be one of the jurors, and it's an incredible system for ferreting out the truth.
But you also have the people from the outside coming in. they might not be so blatantly obvious, but their thoughts and feelings are there also for the characters, and that affects some of the outcomes in the book.
Right. There's a lot of different characters in the book, and many of them have interaction with our protagonist, and he learns a lot of lessons from different folks, doesn't he?
Does the downward spiral that we read about in the book reflect anything you yourself went through? I hope I'm not asking a sensitive question there.
No, I'm not really I guess we all worry about, success at the office and that sort of thing, but I guess this is more what I've seen in other characters that I've gotten to practice law with.
Oh, wow. And those observations, I'm guessing, it sounds like you were an observer of human behavior, and that skill set probably helps you in your work as an attorney.
I hope it does. That, and I like stories, and I think there's some aspect of trial law that is storytelling. And then I like reading novels, and I like listening to people's stories, and I think that's important to a novelist.
But could you have been the author that you are had you not had the experience that you got as an attorney?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's quite a laboratory.
That's a good way to look at it. Yes.
Yeah.
A laboratory.
Sometimes there is not just conflict between characters in your book, but you've got the main characters that they have this inner conflict as well, and they even doubt their decisions sometimes, which is excellent.
Well, and that's one of the opportunities that first-person narration gives us, that we get to hear the inner thoughts of an individual, and hopefully we feel some sort of affinity with that person, but we see their thought process. So I think that is what's important about learning about Davy, is we get to see what he's thinking.
The tight wire that we walk when we talk about a novel is not giving away too much, because the joy of reading a novel is uncovering the parts that make it fun to read.
Yeah.
So with that said, can we tell the audience about the secret?
Well, we can tell them that Davy has an affair that's similar to the David and Bathsheba story, and that it has some bad fallout. This young lawyer makes some bad choices, and they affect the rest of his life. Certainly, in the next 9 months of his life.
How come it's always the men that have that problem?
That's probably another good idea for a novel. Maybe it's just that men just make mistakes that women don't make. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's an affair. There must be a woman there somewhere, but
That's true.
No consequences, apparently.
The way some of the scenarios in your book, like when you have the young attorney and he's used to living one way, and then all of a sudden he's thrown into the world of money and fame and all of this flashiness. It's sort of like when people win the lottery. They are living their life, they've got a handle on it, and then all of a sudden they come in to this big dollar amount and they go crazy. They don't know really what to do. They don't have discipline, and they dwindle it away. And that seems to be the way your book is written also. True to life.
Davy wasn't ready for the success that he received, and so he fell prey to the choices that he was given because of that early success. And then I think we get to see that Davy's dad, who was a college teacher and kind of a rock figure, doesn't make those mistakes in his life, and so when everything falls apart for Davy, he leans on his dad to find out how he really should have handled problems.
And I think that when people that are living real life, they read your book, they can almost use some of the scenarios as a mirror for themselves and catch themselves before they embark on that. That was the feeling I got.
Hopefully. It's a cautionary tale.
Ooh, I love that description.
Yeah. I'm hoping that you had an air conditioner on during some of this because it's pretty hot. There's some pretty hot writing in here.
Well, Larry, we're trying to sell the book.
There you are. Let me help you. Let me read a part of it to help you. When I opened my eyes, I'm reading from the book. When I opened my eyes, Beth was smiling up at me. "Take off your clothes," she said. "Now I need you to do something for me." Yeah, man. That's all I need to know. And suddenly, I would have a secret.
Have any of your colleagues read your book and made comments about it?
Oh, constantly.
I bet you.
I have a group of friends that are all lawyers, and we go to lunch probably once every 2 weeks or so. And so they've had advanced copies, and the texts are flying as to what happened here. Did this really happen? Did this ever happen? That sort of thing. So
Do
it's
some
been
of them?
fun.
But do some of them secretly think that some of your characters, parts of them anyway, could be them?
I think they were worried about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I think they read the book pretty quickly to make sure they weren't in the book.
In the David story, though, I don't think he worried about getting herpes. I just don't remember that. I don't know that they knew what that was.
If you would have students and you would teach them a class to become a lawyer, would you delve into the social aspect also to try to keep family and their job separate, and then once you're with the family, you shouldn't let the outside interfere?
It's almost impossible to do, though. There's no part-time lawyer. It's a full-time job because you take the problems home with you, and probably you can try and compartmentalize work and family, but probably just as important is being able to come home and talk to your spouse or loved one about here's what happened to me today. Not give away client confidences or anything like that, but just to be able to discuss, the good, the bad, the ups and downs, and have somebody to lean on and discuss the problems with. And rather than saying, okay, at 5 o'clock I'm not going to think about the law office anymore, don't come home and divulge client secrets, but do come home and say, I got to talk about this. This didn't go real well today, or it went really well today. Let's celebrate it.
Oh my.
Yeah. You are married, it says.
I am.
In 27 years. Good for you. Two adult sons. That's great. And a dog.
School teacher and a dog. One school teacher and one just finished college.
Wow. So how is it? I mean, when you have like, what's the word for sex, Robin? What's a good word? When you have sex scenes in the book, do you? Well, they're adults, but they're do they read? Are you uncomfortable when they read the book or that they've read it?
Oh, they're avid readers, so yeah, they read the book. And none have really commented negatively. So
no, it wouldn't be negative.
I'm sure for young folks, this is pretty bland.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, this is very brave of you to go out into the realm of writing a novel, because you write articles and papers in the legal genre, but then you also have to step away from that and learn how to get your point across with great dialogue and descriptive scenes, and I think you've done a good job with that. It's a page turner.
I appreciate it. Writing fiction's a lot different than legal writing. Legal writing, you've got a deadline, and you've got to have quiet time. You've got to work, by yourself and try and be persuasive. But fiction writing is just a creative outlet where you're imagining what could happen. If while neither one's probably doing the grocery list, fiction writing is imagining what the folks at the dinner are going to say, and legal writing's more just what is the dinner going to be.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
I think if there's an effort at all to be trying to tell a great story and at the same time maybe leave the reader with some kind of a life lesson. It is interesting how, as a storyteller, you're able to take us down that road so we understand why somebody might make a mistake. In other words, the reason for the attraction, the attraction to something we should try to avoid being attracted to. You know what? Once you hear those sirens, what was that mythological thing, Robin? The sirens.
Oh yeah.
Once you hear those girls singing, you got to tie yourself.
Ulysses.
You got to tie yourself to the mast. Remember that story?
That's right.
Yeah.
Temptations are all around.
I think that's why. I think that may be part of the message too. You've a great writing style. I hopefully we'll hear more from you. The book is called A Minor Fall. I have a copy of the book. Call me if you want the book that I've got. Everybody else, including myself, will have to go buy it. But you can call right now and get the one that I have. Price, give us a website if you could, please.
Well, the best place to get the book right now is just at Amazon.com. And then it was supposed to have been shipped to your local independent bookstore yesterday. So I actually found one on a shelf here in Austin. So I hope it's there in Florida as well.
Oh, nice. That's a nice feeling, isn't it, when you find your book?
It was a neat feeling to go to the store and actually see the book on the shelf.
That is cool. That is cool. Yeah, I just found that on Amazon. Easy to find. All right, Price Ainsworth, thank you so much for being on the air with us today. The book, again, is called A Minor Fall. It's a legal thriller novel, and it's sexy, baby. Thank you, Price.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Wednesday, times of clouds and sun. There'll be a shower and heavy thunderstorm in the area during the afternoon and evening hours. High today, 85 to 89. And later Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with a shower in spots. The overnight low, 71 to 75. For Thursday, more clouds and sun, very warm and humid with a thunderstorm or two in the area, especially during the afternoon hours. The high tomorrow, 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Hi, my name is Erica Olstein. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine. Do you have a gout-ridden toe or bowels that move too slow, creaky knees, or how about an asthmatic wheeze? Then acupuncture is sure to please. Come visit me, your primary care physician, Erica Olstein at A Better You Healthcare. Call me at 352-615-5566. That's 352-615-5566.
The Coke Zero 400. It's where valor meets velocity. It's where celebration meets acceleration. All American meets absolutely amazing. At the Coke Zero 400, powered by Coca-Cola, Saturday, July 1st. Kids 12 and under are just $20, including free UNOH fan zone admission. Guarantee your seats at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Next Generation MD is the future of healthcare now. Listen in the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. to learn how the future in PRP treatments are here in our area. Find out the many ways that Dr. Juan Jordan, MD, Charles Brooks, NP, and case manager Mark Shaw have brought the family medicine practice to a new level. Hear from the very people that benefit from the fine work they have done in this field. Next Generation MD, every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Here are today's headlines from The Source, WOCA. A former Rockledge councilman is in custody after being accused of firing a gun into an occupied vehicle after a property dispute, according to the Rockledge Police Department. Ralph McCoy, a local realtor and former two-term Rockledge councilman, came up to the intersection of Barton and Seminole Drive just before 3 p.m. yesterday when he saw a man driving a truck he had been having a dispute with. McCoy is accused of then firing a shot from his car and putting a bullet hole into the driver's driver's side door. The driver called 911, and that began a search for McCoy's 2001 white Lexus. Police headed towards his home in Vieira. Authorities were able to make contact with him by phone, and Rockledge officers were able to stop him in a church parking lot where the 62-year-old McCoy surrendered just before 4 p.m. Police say McCoy's 4-year-old son was in the car at the time he was taken into custody, but the child was not with him when the shooting took place. McCoy is charged with aggravated assault with a firearm and shooting into an occupied vehicle. Attorney John Morgan may sue the state of Florida over the legislature's bills expanding the use of medical marijuana. State lawmakers did not approve smoking as a method of consuming the drug. Morgan, one of the main backers of Amendment 2, points out the amendment approved by voters allowed patients to smoke medical marijuana, just not in public. So lawmakers did not follow the letter of the measure. He says, quote, "That's wrong. I'll go back and fix that. It's in my amendment 4 separate ways. They got into the purview of medical use, which they're not allowed to do, and so I will win on that issue, but it's going to take me a little bit more time," unquote. Morgan says there are some positives to the bill, like allowing growers to grow, dispensaries to open, and allow patients to get some relief. A new AAA Consumer Pulse survey shows Floridians will vacation more than last summer and spend more money in the process. The survey revealed that 2/3, or 67% of Floridians, are planning at least one vacation of 3 days or more this summer. The most popular vacations are beach or lake getaways, theme parks, and ocean cruises. Of the Floridians planning a summer vacation, the majority, 71%, say they will not leave the United States. However, 20% say they are planning both international and domestic vacations, while 9% will only travel internationally. Orlando, Vancouver, and Cancun are among the top summer travel destinations in North America based on AAA travel bookings from June 1st through August 15th. 30% of travelers say they feel better about traveling compared to last year, while sentiments remain unchanged for more than half of those surveyed. The top 3 reasons Floridians feel better about traveling are improved financial situations, more time to travel, and better feelings about the